graveyard of mission, the graveyard for missionaries. This is the nickname it has in the mission field. This land, even till today, is an almost impenetrable social cohesion which is built upon an alloy of Buddhism and Brahmanism, as well as deep roots of animism, which add yet another reason to fear change. Just as Thai people have demonstrated an unsurpassed capacity to resist colonization through flawlessly smooth diplomacy, so they have proven to be staunchly committed to their de facto identity statement: to be Thai is to be Buddhist. Today, it is hard to imagine the condition confronting the early missionaries in Asia, because tradition, religious superstition, and sometimes suspicious fanatism rose as bulwarks of opposition to the entrance of Christianity. Huge Buddhist temples with their golden spires and tall roofs reaching up to the heavens, they still bear silent witness of the stark reality that this land is preeminently the land of Buddhism. During the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Baptist missionaries William Carey of England and Adoniram Judson of America played a significant role in a new forward missionary movement by obeying God's call to evangelize multitudes spiritually lost without Christ. Such men surged ahead of their peers in incredible endeavors of foreign missions. William Carey faced opposition to missions from Baptist pastors and people in Britain patiently and squarely. Yet his burden, his vision, and determination was not swayed. Carey's mission idea was like a revolutionary thought to the hyper-Calvinistic Baptists of his day. But still he was persevering catalyst, moving against a mighty wave of unsympathetic theological bias which excluded missions in its degeneration to fatalism and antinomianism. This tenor of thinking twisted God's sovereignty and absolved man of responsibility, because they said if God wants to save the heathen, he will do it in his own way, in his own time, without your help or mine. This was the common attitude. Carey was considered a miserable enthusiast for asking such a question as whether the command given to the apostles to teach all nations was not obligatory on all succeeding ministers to the ends of the world, seeing the accompanying promise was of equal extent. Anti-mission associations were set up in many states of America and England. Numerous Baptist churches, especially those on the frontier, took this anti-mission stand between 1820 and 1840. By 1846, 2/3 of the anti-mission Baptists were in frontier states. A doctrinal shift to hyper-Calvinism and opposition to formal academic theological education for a paid ministry lay at the root of it. A hostility to all societies. Of course, maybe some enthusiastic promoters of missions used some unwise approaches, but it was unfortunate that not only home but also foreign missions were equally attacked and curtailed, even while Judson and his associates were battling against great odds in Burma. To the commendation of these missionary brothers like William Carey and Judson and their wives, they did not pack up and come home. They were under higher orders from God, despite the king's refusal for liberty to propagate Christianity in his dominion and the death of missionaries with their children. They stayed on with rigid and prayerful determination. They did not quit because of anti-mission sentiments and opposition from Baptist churches in America and England, nor were they there for pecuniary interests. So funding or no funding, They were sold out to do God's will. Judson even renounced the title of Doctor of Divinity and gave away his private property to the Baptist Foreign Mission Board. He also asked the board to reduce his allowance, and literally, he was chained and fettered for the cause of Christ. Through much spiritual toil and tears, Adoniram Judson has baptized his 18 Burmese converts in 1822 and the 100th Karen convert in 1833. But such cause of rejoicing was foreign to bigoted, biased, and intolerant hyper-Calvinistic Baptists in those times. Today, the church faces similar subtle anti-mission feelings. Are there any missionaries being sent from churches in India? Or do we still think, like the hyper-Calvinists think, that God will save people in His own time, in His own way? Maybe the church has gone into a deep slumber, not thinking about the perishing, about the lost, and so we have shut down sending our children to the missionary work which is across the world, to the lost souls and the perishing across the world. If it was not for William Carey, if it was not for Adoniram Judson, India, Asia would still be in darkness. How many people are willing to be missionaries? How many children are studying to be missionaries, learning skills to serve God, and lose their lives in graveyards of other countries which are not their homes?